Hey guys, welcome to Korea Now. From an endless pandemic to global sensations BTS and Squid Game, 2021 has been full of ups and downs with signs of hope for a better future. Now, before we usher in the new year, let's take a look at the top 10 South Korean news stories selected by Yonhap News editors. Here we go. The COVID-19 pandemic continued to rage in its second year. The fourth wave of the pandemic has hit in July, with daily infections reaching a record high of 7,850 and the number of critically ill patients also exceeding 1,000. More than 80% of the country's population have been fully vaccinated, but with the rise of the new Omicron variant and hospital bed shortages, the government rolled back its Living with COVID-19 plan and tightened social distancing rules again. The so-called MZ generation, which refers to young people born between 1980s and the early 2000s, was one of the biggest news topics this year. The number of young people in search of employment reached a record high of 874,000 in August, while those unable to find a job for over 3 years soared to 100,000. The Korea Composite Stock Price Index KOSPI opened the era of 3,000 points on individual buying. It was the first time for KOSPI to end at above 3,000 points in 65 years since the country's stock market opened in 1956 and in 38 years since the KOSPI was adopted in 1983. South Korea's home prices continue to rise this year despite heavy taxes, increased supply plans, and tougher lending rules. The country's home prices rose an average of 8.9% from January to October, surpassing a 5.36% growth for the whole of last year. The presidential candidates at both the ruling and the main opposition parties, Lee Jae-myung and Yoon Suk-yeol, have been accused of involvement in politically sensitive scandals, ending up subject to investigation by the prosecution and the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials. Following the notorious death of baby Jung-in last year, a series of serious child abuse cases continue to shock the nation. A couple was given 30-year and 12-year prison terms, respectively, on charges of abusing a 10-year-old niece to death in February, including water torture-like violence. South Korea's military was widely criticized for sexual abuse scandals and poorly served meals for draftees. In April, soldiers posted the photos of their poor-quality meals on social media, claiming service members were being underfed. In response, the military raised the average daily meal cost for service members by 14% starting July to 10,000 won. Then in May, an Air Force sergeant took her own life after being sexually abused by a colleague. Just a few months later, a Navy member also took her life after claiming she was sexually harassed. It is no exaggeration to say that Korean pop culture captivated the whole world this year. First, BTS topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 10 non-consecutive weeks with Butter and added 2 more chart toppers, Permission to Dance and My Universe, totaling a combined 12 weeks at number 1 on the chart. The Septet also won the Artist of the Year at this year's AMAs and sold out 4 LA concerts. On the cinematic scene, the immigration film Minari came into the spotlight. Veteran actress Yoon Hyo-jung, who played an eccentric grandmother in the film, won Best Supporting Actress at this year's Academy Awards, becoming the first South Korean to win an acting Oscar. Netflix's original series Squid Game became the most watched Netflix content of all time, with more than 1.65 billion hours of viewing in the first 4 weeks after its release in September. It also swept numerous prizes and nominations from major awards events in the US, including the Gotham Awards and the Golden Globe Awards. South Korea launched its first homegrown space rocket, Nuri, from the NATO Space Center on October 21st. The rocket flew to a target altitude of 700 kilometers but failed to put the dummy satellite into orbit as its third-stage engine burned out sooner than expected. Former Presidents Roh Tae-woo and Chun Doo-hwan, who were widely criticized for their roles in staging a military coup and leading the bloody crackdown on pro-democracy Gwangju uprising in 1980, died about a month apart. Roh died on October 26 at the age of 89 after a long battle with prostate cancer and other chronic illnesses. Chun died on November 23 at the age of 90 due to Alzheimer's and multiple myeloma. So what are some news that stuck out to you the most this year, and what's the biggest news that happened in your country? Let us know in the comments below, and Happy New Year!